Hello and welcome back to Pathfinder Kingmaker. So, before we get into it today, and we are going to talk to companions, I'm just going to move a little bit further away from Amiri. She's a little bit loud. Yeah. Before we talk to companions, I do want to just have a little talk about companions, and the fact that we now have Jaethal and Harrim, and they are a little bit different in terms of what they've got. So, if I have a look at Jaethal here, I think we already read this. Yeah. Basically, you'll notice that she is neutral evil. We got Harrim, which is chaotic neutral. We got chaotic good. We got chaotic neutral. We got lawful neutral. Actually, we're fairly neutral. That's kind of weird. We only have one good character? That's a little weird. I do like seeing all the little choices, actually, on our alignment chart, where we can see where everything went. Do we not have a bigger alignment chart? I'm sure we do somewhere. Ah, well, we just get to see it in a larger amount. Alignment shifted to neutral about 10 million times, and then it goes up here. Oh, that's interesting. Anyway, that's fine. Anyway, what I was getting at is that each of these people have different alignments, right? They're all very different in terms of how they handle things, right? I think, yeah, these two in particular, Lindsay and Jaethal, are on completely different sides of the spectrum, right? So at some point, we're going to run into an issue running them at the same time. So I'm not necessarily going to keep every party member that we come across. We're going to run into differences. And there may be a point where we have to get rid of one or another or whatever. I don't know how the game is going to pressure us in either direction, but I just thought I'd mention it. So we're not necessarily going to keep every companion, but I decided that we were going to take all of them up till we had the full 6 party. 5 party? 6 party. Basically because I wanted to make sure that we have a full party and so we can do things. Like the Tartusio fight would have been nearly impossible if we had 5 people. But 6 makes it a lot more doable. I mean, I suppose Jaethal didn't do very much in that fight, but there were basically someone for the kobolds to hit in the back. So, anyway, thought it was worth mentioning. Anyway, I'm going to talk to Jaethal, and hopefully Amiri's going to quieten down here. Right, Jaethal greets you with a nod. Speak. I would like to hear your story. Stories. Jaethal shrugs. Stories are boring and a waste of time. I have killed. I was exiled from Kaonan. I died. I was raised by Urgathoa's gift. That is my story. So what's Kaonan? Homeland of the elven race on Golarion. Kaonan was almost completely evacuated by the elves just before the fall of the Starstone. They only recently, by elven standards, returned to Golarion to reclaim their ancient homeland and become an isolationist realm, allowing few non-elven visitors into their mist-shrouded capital, Idara. Okay. Who were you before your exile? It's rather amusing. I belonged to a wealthy family and held high position on the courts of Idara, the capital of Kaonan. When my little wrongdoings were revealed, the trial was held in the very same court where I tried cases and delivered sentences over several hundred years. An awkward situation, don't you think? So who did you kill and why? Family. 4. Jaethal's voice is calm and ordinary, as if she's speaking of something trivial. But why is the more interesting question. What is the worth of 1,000 years if you cannot enjoy it like your first 10 dozen springs? The elf's voice sounds unusually vehement. Everyone considers elves ever young, but our youthfulness is but a mask, a threadbare ritual gown. What lies underneath? The dust of years and jaded reputation. With each year the dust grows thicker, and erstwhile joys cease to excite and cloy as a dish you've tasted 1,000 times. Long did I search for a way to avert this fate. Don't I, who has truly tasted life, deserve a better lot than those benumbed old elves who close themselves to the world? I found a way in the ancient texts of Urgathoa, a ritual involving the blood of my kin, a trifle that would make each day feel as a holiday, created specially for me. A ritual gave me strength not only to my body, but to my mind and my soul. My mind whirled at every sensation, each sip of wine or silken caress. Oh, how I miss this. My cousin was the first I used for the ritual. It was a simple matter to pass her death as an unfortunate accident. But the enchantment would not last. I had to find another, and again conceal my trail. With the third death, my family grew suspicious, and upon the fourth, my deeds were finally revealed. Such a pity. If not for this, my unlife even now would overflow with burning pleasure, for I have dozens of useless relatives. Oh, okay. Well, how do we want to take this? I'm not going to judge you. Oh no, we're judgy. It's just how judgy are we? In the end, we all live for ourselves? Nope. An objective we're pursuing, it would be better to refrain from secret murder. No, I don't think so. I think we judge her with neutral good. Did you kill innocent elves for entertainment and pleasure? Yes, I have, Jaethal shrugs. Whatever high-sounding words you wish to describe my deeds, say abominable if it suits you. Reasonable and honest would fit just as well. Do you have a family in Caonan? Anyone who is dear to you? Do you mean someone I would hesitate to sacrifice? Perhaps my daughter. I would regret the wasted effort. The creature turned out quite well, like a properly trained dog or a well-managed horse. Is exile your only punishment for murder? For an elf, Jaethal says pointedly, exile is a serious punishment. There is no other Caonan in this world. Even I, who despises its hypocrisy, must admit as such. How did you die? What happened after? Jaethal frowns. I don't remember my death. I was stunned by the sentence of exile, and I admit I showed weakness. I wandered aimless, absorbed in despair, without concern for my safety or sustenance. And then I remembered desolate rocks, a stone I lay upon, a convulsion passing not only through my whole body but through my soul. Then I awakened, cold, calm, my body overwhelmed with strength, but haunted by a strange internal silence. There were bloody prints of bone feet on the stone next to me, the sign of the goddess. A battle scythe lay nearby. That was the first and last time I heard Urgathoa's voice. She spoke but 3 words. Hail the Inquisitor. That is all. She has neither addressed me nor answered my pleas ever since. I will not bother you with the story of how I tried to comprehend my new condition. Soon I had a chance to put my new powers to the test. A group of my kin had tracked me through the woods. They were insolent and would pay dearly for this, but I had to reckon how I might free myself from their persistent chase. A powerful protector from among the short-lived could help me, and the Sword Lord seemed suitable. That is all. Tell me about your birthplace. I hope you do not ask from idle curiosity. Caonan is the birthplace of the elves. The other races are allowed to visit within reasonable limits. Usually, only as far as Greengold. That is the enclave for half-breeds and the short-lived, a whim of our queen. I enjoyed going there sometimes, as to a wild beast show. Beyond this caricature of a city, Caonan is a mixture of grandeur and the sad remains of ancient glory. Okay, what's Greengold then? The port city of Greengold is the second largest settlement in Caonan, and the only official entry point to the Elven Kingdom for non-elves. Situated on Lake Incarthan, it is a popular port of call for traders and diplomats. Greengold generally appears as any other human dockside settlement, except that trees grow in strange places throughout, and the yellow roofs on the buildings make the city look quite distinct. Okay. Next to today's graceful dwellings lie the ruins of ancient monuments and fountains. Elves prefer to live in small groups in secluded settlements. The most outgoing and ambitious live in the capital, Idara. Daily life is filled with efforts of 100-year-old infants seeking worthy goals, and 1,000-year-old stony cynics entertaining themselves however they can. That is all. It is scarcely worth mentioning that even this gloom is far more tempting than anything one finds in the lands of the short-lived. Okay, well, enough about your past. What's it like being undead? Do you wish to know what it means to me personally, or what powers and limitations it imposes? Do you regret not being alive anymore? A shadow passes over Jaethal's face. You surely know how to ask questions, She says nothing for a long time. 2 desires led me through life, to feel pleasure time and time again, and to achieve perfection. Unlife brought me closer to the second. I'm changeless, torn from time. The chaos of the world, and even the soul circle, have no power over me. But everything comes with a price. Most things that brought me pleasure in life are meaningless to me now. How can I decide which is better? I think chaotic neutral here. A bright life full of pleasures is better than unlife, though eternal. Perhaps, but the choice was made for me. I have nothing left but to follow the will of the goddess. How do healing spells, prayers, and potions affect you? Dreadfully, of course. Your healers better stay away from me in battle. The undead are healed through interaction with negative energy, and I can perfectly manage that on my own. You don't need to sleep, right? I'm spared from that bothersome need, but I hope you do not take this as a reason to invent additional responsibilities to entertain me during the night. I spend this time meditating and addressing to the goddess. What about, carnal pleasures? A tactless and facile question. That pleasure is now senseless to me as food or wine. Action without feeling. Well, thank you. I have no more questions. Tell me about your goddess. It might sound strange, but I know less than others about Urgathoa and her faith. My transformation into her Inquisitor was unexpected. I will answer to the best of my knowledge. Ooh, we got a world knowledge check passed. We see the roll? How close was it? We can't. Anyway, why is the cult of Urgathoa forbidden in much of Galarian? Just seeing if we can't. No way of chesting. That one just must be a straightforward. You have the stat or you don't, I guess. Anyway. Because Galarian is plagued by narrow-minded cowards. Some tremble at the freedom granted by Urgathoa. Others fear the wrath of Pharasma and her priests. What do you know of Urgathoa herself? Oh, certainly. Urgathoa was once a mortal woman, basking in life and the pleasures it had to offer. Her passion was so strong that Urgathoa rebelled against Pharasma, against death itself and its laws. After her own death, she escaped the power of the Lady of Graves and returned to the world as a goddess, and the first undead. Since then, she has protected all who submit their souls to pleasure and passion, paying no heed to worn-out morals and dictates of law. What does it mean to be an Inquisitor of Urgathoa? The question is more complicated than it seems. An Inquisitor is by nature the most zealous defender of their faith, the hand of their goddess in mundane affairs. When I received this title and power, I expected that Urgathoa would tell me my mission, but this never happened. The goddess remained silent. There's only one reasonable explanation I can imagine. Discovering what's expected of me is part of my mission, so I reflect on this, make my prayers and wait for a sign. Does Urgathoa feud with the other gods? Not Urgathoa, but Pharasma still tries to call her to order, and Sarene to heal her. Jaethal laughs at the absurdity. Sarene? Known to her faithful as Dawnflower, Healing Light, and the Everlight, Sarene is a goddess who teaches temperance and patience in all things. Compassion and peace are her greatest virtues, and if enemies of the faith can be redeemed, they should be. Worship of this goddess of healing, honesty, redemption, and the sun began far to the east of the Inner Sea in the vast Padasha Empire of Kalish, but her worshippers can now be found throughout the world. Okay, what does Urgathoa require of her followers? To enjoy, to taste exquisite dishes, to feel the lover's caress, and drink the enemy's suffering. A wonderful religious obligation, isn't it? Well, we already know that at least, most of these she can't do. I think probably only drink the enemy's suffering is the one she's got left. But anyway, enough about this for just now. What made you follow me? I mean, apart from me rescuing you from the kobolds. Curiosity, the need for a reliable ally. You see, I must come to understand what my goddess seeks from me. Urgathoa gave me the powers of Inquisitor without declaring her will to me. I await her reply. Any hint or trace or clue? I suppose our meeting was no mere accident. Besides, Jaethal cringes. I imagine that several Kaonan assassins still pursue me. They never risked attacking me while I was under the patronage of the Aldori. They're unlikely to attack while I have reliable allies like you. Why do they follow you? I don't know. They can't have been sent by the Queen. I am branded outlaw, but my punishment was exile, and it's not custom for elves to contravene their own verdicts. My attackers shouted something about threat and blood. I suppose they were a splinter group of feeble-minded zealots, or someone on a quest for personal revenge. Alright, well thank you for the conversation. Farewell. Okay, we know a little bit more about her. She's awful, but we know a little bit more about her. I mean, in terms of what she did. I don't need to speak to Bok, and I just clicked on him by accident. Right, Harrim. I don't think we're speaking to him yet. Harrim pulls his beard, muttering something that could either be prayers or curses. Upon noticing you, he winces. What? It's you, Soroceros. Did I startle you? I'm sorry. Oh, no, that doesn't matter. I was just contemplating the futility of existence and the worthlessness of the universe. The ways of Grotus are great. My humble mortal mind cannot fully grasp them, but I do what I can. Harrim smiles apologetically. Tell me about your past. My life is divided into two parts. The first was filled with blind wandering, doubts, and attempts to serve Torag. The second part began when I accepted Grotus into my soul and received a clear vision of the world. What exactly would you like to know? Alright, Torag. Tell me about him. Torag is also known as the Father of Creation, is a stoic and serious dwarven god of the forge, protection, and strategy, who values honor, planning, and well-made steel. He is an often distant deity, lending magical power to his clerics, but leaving his followers to make their own way through life, knowing that this will make them strong and determined. Okay. Where are you from? My life story began in Larad, a city of dwarven clerics and acolytes. They serve Torag and the other dwarven gods, Torag's brothers, Angrad and Magrum, Torag's wife, Bulgrit, and his daughter Bulka, his sons Grundinar, Kols, and Thrud. Also Torag's sister, Drangvit. Harrim curves his lips in contempt. I wouldn't be surprised if they kept a temple to Torag's pet dog. Sorry, I let myself get carried away. Harrim sighs and pulls his beard several times. Larad is the second largest dwarven city in the Five Kings Mountains. It's built up around numerous temple caverns, which serve as places of worship for all the dwarven gods. Many pilgrims from every corner of Golarion come to Larad to pray to their gods. Some remain to live there. This city is simply imbued with faith. You can't swing a dead cat around without hitting a cleric. It's no surprise, inspired by the aura of the city, I decided as a young boy to dedicate all my efforts to becoming a cleric of Torag. Yeah, apologies about the accent. I feel it slipping, but that's fine. I've still got a little bit of an awful throat, so there we go. That's my excuse. Just, trying to do something that doesn't completely kill the voice, so I can record more than one of these in a row. You once tried to serve Torag? Not just tried. It was a burning passion. I craved it by day and dreamt of it at night. Harrim shakes his head as if amazed by his own stupidity. You see, Soroceros, from my first days, I felt the presence of the god at my back. I heard his whispers and felt his power. Though the nature of this power was unclear to me, I thought Torag himself was trying to speak to me, and I did all I could to understand his words. Oh, what a naive fool I was. I had no idea Torag, that uncompromising, conceited god, glamorized by all dwarfs, was capable of betrayal. He turned away from me, Soroceros. He left me in the hour when I put all my hopes in him, and desperately needed his support. Torag is the god of craftsmanship, so every follower, especially the clerics, must smith their own suit of armor. The day when this work is finished is like the second birthday for a dwarf. He's newly born in the eyes of Torag. Harrim sighs heavily and falls silent for a time. My second birthday never came. I couldn't make armor, not even a sword, not a even a simple nail. My hammer smashed my fingers and fell on my feet. Molten iron burned my hands. The clerics laughed as they healed me. They used to say I was cursed by Torag. So, I finally gave up any attempt to please the betrayer god. Even if Torag has rejected you, is that enough reason to leave your homeland? You don't know much about dwarfs. Harrim lets out a sad laugh. How can a dwarf, cursed by Torag, go on living in a city where every single soul bows to Torag? I was alone, disgraced, humiliated, insulted. A lone tear glints in the light before sliding down Harrim's cheek and hiding his beard. Hiding in his beard. A single tear hiding his beard, that would be one large tear. Anyway, I was trying to drown my sorrows in drink, but even the owner of the cheapest pub on the road would laugh at me while he put those mugs in front of me. I couldn't take it any longer. I wanted everything to end. But there was one thing that kept me going and prevented me from ending my life. I could still hear that divine whisper behind my back. It was yet faint. It took a long time before I could hear it clearly, but having heard it once, I could never forget it. It was clear that none of Larad's deities favored me, so I left the Five Kings Mountains and went out searching. I didn't think dwarves ever worshipped Grotus. How did you learn about him? Oh, but that blessed day became the beginning of a new life. Alone and abandoned by all, I spent many dull hours in a filthy tavern by the roadside. I don't recall the town, nor even the country. I had no money. In fact, all I had was a hunk of stale bread. I was weary and almost fainting from hunger. And that was the moment when the whisper from my god became more clear. It was like he was calling me. At last my sufferings had come to an end. It was a miracle, Soroceros, and I had paid full price for it with my torments. I couldn't control myself. I walked out of the tavern and straight into the nearest forest, and there I found the ruined temple of Arodin, the lost god. Several figures, clad in robes, were holding a silent service there, a service to a god I knew nothing about. None minded when I stood beside them. For the first time in my life, I felt myself at home. Arodin? Arodin was the immortal Aslanti who raised the Starstone from the bottom of the Inner Sea in 1 AR, and in so doing founded the city of Absalon and ascended to godhood. Prophecy told of his return to Golarion and the beginning of a new age of glory. On the eve of his return, however, his clerics were cut off from his power, and terrible storms racked the world. Now, presumed dead, Arodin's demise ushered in the current age of lost omens. Oh, okay. Interestingly, it's in 1 AR, so I have to assume that when he raised the Starstone, that was like, this is where the calendar starts now. Interesting. I wonder what AR stands for. Anyway. My new brothers told me that they were clerics of Grotus, the god of end times. They were traveling around Golarion, spreading the teachings of Grotus, despite all the persecution, contempt, and misjudgment they received from others. I gladly shared this burden with them, for now I knew whose voice had whispered to me through all those years. Wait, so you couldn't even make a simple nail and you blame Torag? Are you suggesting my problem was not a curse, but just my own inability to work with metal? Or maybe you're saying I was just too lazy? Harrim looks in your eyes defiantly, his hands trembling with suppressed rage as he runs fingers over his beard. You're a fool if you think so, an ignorant fool. Have you ever met a dwarf who can't handle a smith's hammer? Even our children crafts knives. No, Torag is the cause of my sufferings. The betrayer god deliberately cursed me, just to make a laughing stock of me. Harrim raises his hand and shakes his fist at someone above. But I won't let myself get angry at you, Soroceros. You're an ignorant and blind soul. My aim is to guide you through this dying world that marches towards its end. I will open your eyes or die trying. Grotus will be pleased by either outcome. Alright, we'll talk about something else. I'd like to know more about dwarves. Most dwarves are self-satisfied, stubborn fools serving Torag. They don't deserve my good attention. Harrim winces. But you can ask what you want to know. I'll try to answer. Tell me about the Five Kings Mountains. The Dwarven Kingdom, yes. Well, it's to the south from here. It survived many trials, and There'll be many more to come. Harrim strokes his beard, contemplating. There is no unity among the dwarves, Soroseros. The 5 kings rule over our people. They sit on the thrones of the 5 greatest cities, and with each passing day it grows harder for them to come to any agreement. The only thing uniting the 5 kings' mountains is the sky citadel of High Helm, the great dwarven fortress at the mountain's heart. Okay, Sky Citadel? Mighty dwarven fortresses that can be found throughout Avastin and Garund, the first to be built by the stout folk when they emerged onto the surface world during the Age of Darkness. Although 10 citadels were built in total, only a few have survived intact to the present day, and fewer still are held by the dwarves. Now I'm assuming that the Age of Darkness was before the, was it Starstone? I think it was Starstone was risen up, so I assume that must be the time before like 1AR is the Age of Darkness. Just completely guessing. I have no idea. And High Helm is among ancient and expansive dwarven settlements recognized as Sky Citadel, constructed during the Age of Darkness within and beneath lofty Emperor's Peak in the 5 Kings range, is remained the center of dwarven culture on Avastin for millennia. Okay, have the dwarves always lived on the surface? Oh no, eons ago, all dwarves lived beneath the surface, and they did rather well, judging by the historic records. They built fortresses befitting noble dwarves. But our restless god Torak sent us a prophecy, the quest for the sky. He ordered all the dwarves to abandon their fortresses and press upwards to show their beards through the sun, as they say. Quest for the Sky. Quest for the Sky is an ancient dwarven migration to the surface of Galarian from their original homes in the Darklands. The god Torak had given them a prophecy. When the ground shook beneath their feet, they must press upwards to the surface. They took the massive tremors caused by the Earthfall and minus 5293 AR as a sign, began their journey towards the surface, finally emerging there in 4987 AR? My god. It took them 10,000 years? Wait, is that actually 10,000? That might be exactly 10. No, obviously it's... No, that might be exactly 10,000 years. No, it's not. I'm an idiot. It's a large number of years, around 10,000. Yeah. But, yeah, that is a long time. Yeah, I don't know why I ever thought that was... My math is failing me here, because I was like, nope, that doesn't add up whatsoever. Anyway. This journey was long and bloody. Many dwarfs perished on the way. Others turned back, keeping their ancient strongholds, eventually turning to evil Durgar, grey dwarfs. But those who survived reached the surface and founded the Sky Citadels, the most glorious cities in dwarven history. Okay. So tell me about the Sky Citadels. Oh, they are the peaks of creation. Glorious cities built by the ancient dwarves, who'd finally reached the surface after many hardships, performing the final labor in the quest for the sky on the surface of Galarian. Harrim's eyes glitter with admiration. They are steadfast, tall, magnificent, they are beautiful. The 10 citadels were built by dwarves, but we managed to keep only a few. The citadels crumbled, and the orcs, sworn enemies of our people, trampled their blessed streets and ruined the gorgeous palaces of the ancient kings. Harrim's eyes grow misty with tears. These were heavy losses, and a disgrace to our people, Soroseros. High Helm is the jewel of the citadels that remain. It is located in the heart of the mountains, and the heart of every dwarf. Yes, my heart too. There is a dwarven saying that if an enemy reaches High Helm, every dwarf from the corners of the world will come to defend it. Harrim casts a sad glance at you. I'd be there too. But not to help the Citadel's defenders. I'd be there to witness the fall of our people with my own eyes and mourn it. I would fall upon the cold stone and raise my final prayer, Grotus. Okay, interesting. I'd like to learn more about your god, Grotus. You wish to learn about Grotus? Harrim seems surprised and pleased at the same time. Yes, of course, I will answer anything you ask. What are Grotus's teachings about in a nutshell? Grotus is the end of all that exists. Harrim smiles. He's obviously been waiting for this question. Look around, Soroseros. What do you see? Look again. and realize that everything will be destroyed. Our clothing and our armor will turn to dust. The walls of these palaces will crumble into ruin. The trees will fall, and you and I will die much sooner than that. Grotus is a timeless watcher. He's been locked. Been locked away. Oh, I think there's an extra word. Okay, that's fine. He's been locked away by Pharasma, the goddess of rebirth. From her boneyard, he watches over the world, knowing the time for the final reaping shall come. He's the bloated moon hanging in the sky. He's the harbinger of the last days. He's the one who will stay when all the others are gone. So Pharasma has Grotus locked in her boneyard, so she's stronger than Grotus. Of course she is stronger. For now, Harrim nods with dignity, stroking his beard. Grotus is weaker than Pharasma and many other gods. I would be a fool if I tried to claim otherwise. If Grotus were stronger, the end times would already have come, wouldn't they? But the powers of the other gods fade away. They dissolve slowly, a grain in a century. Grotus collects those grains and waits. He doesn't need to hurry. He knows that his time shall come. Usually clerics can speak with their gods. What does Grotus say to you? What is his will? Harrim shakes his head in resignation. Grotus doesn't speak to his clerics. Actually, Grotus doesn't need any cleric. The dwarf raises his sad eyes to you. He only allows his whispers to be heard, and only by those who are dying to hear them. His words are unclear, but they call to you. His voice comes with the soft rustle of fallen leaves, with the woeful wailing wind at the mountain pass, with the roar of the raging blizzard, and it calls you to strike out on the road. Onwards, always onwards, over the pass, over the bridge, and further along. Up ahead, where the edge of the grey robe flashed and a candle sputtered for the last time before dying. Onwards, always onwards, until your feet can no longer carry you. Harrim falls silent, submerged in his own thoughts. Well, thanks for telling me about that. I've learned enough for now. Then let me ask you, what do you think about Grotus? It was interesting to learn about him. No more, no less. Harrim nods in contentment. I'll be glad to talk with you about Grotus any time, Sorceros. After all, that's why I travel in your company. Have you ever regretted your decision to abandon Torag and start worshipping Grotus instead? Your question might seem offensive, Sorceros, but I am not offended. I realize you ask because you wish to learn more about Grotus. Harrim squeezes his beard in his fist. In a moment he lets it free again. Torag betrayed me, Sorceros. All he's ever done was look down with contempt upon all my futile efforts to please him. I crafted armor plates, but they fell apart with a single strike of a fist. I smithed swords, but they broke at the hilt. Torag's priest used to say that such failures were the curse of their uncompromising deity. Harrim's fingers grab his beard with such force, it seems to tear a handful of hair out of it. It was Grotus who opened my eyes. He showed me that failure is a manifestation of his will. The end time is near, Sorceros, and every failure is just another step towards it. Torag's curse is only half the reason for my failure. The other half is the blessing of Grotus, which I have borne from early childhood. Harrim smiles warmly at his thoughts. So, the short answer to your question is no. I've never regretted opening my soul to Grotus. From what I've heard, Grotus doesn't spare the minds of his clerics. They all go insane eventually. Is that true? Ha! Who told you that? I'd like to look that slanderer in the eye. Harrim bursts into laughter. But you can't understand what's so funny. You see, Sorceros, sanity is quite a relative concept. Harrim says it as his laughter recedes. Each of us is certain that he's the sanest creature in the world. Meanwhile, we periodically doubt the sanity of others. So what happens if 2 or 3 people claim that someone else is insane? Does that make it true? Perhaps the accusers have lost their minds themselves. The longer a cleric listens to the whispers of Grotus, the better he comprehends the essence of his designs, and the deeper his understanding becomes. When enlightenment comes, the mind of a cleric ascends to a new level of understanding, which is inaccessible to simpler souls. Is it insanity? Oh, this is for you to decide, Saraceros. My decision was made long ago. When I reach enlightenment, I'll accept it with joy and delight. I don't know. Let's see. Well, when you learn Grotus's divine plans, remember to tell me about them. I could use a good laugh. Harrim seems not to hear the irony in your words. Oh, of course, I will tell you. I will tell everyone the word of Grotus will lead us forward unto the inevitable. Well, thanks for the conversation. We'll talk later. Harrim nods with dignity. I'll be happy to continue our conversation later. He does a lot of things with dignity. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but he does a lot of things with it. I mean, I know what dignity means, but I'm like, how does one stroke a beard with dignity? It's not something I've ever thought about, to be honest with you. Now, we have supplies, don't we? If we get back to the actual game. There was another recipe, right? No, we didn't get another recipe. So do we actually have supplies? Yeah, we have 14, so we can go out for another mission. Let's head out.
Let us be careful.
I know we're running into a little bit of a longer episode, but I don't want it just to all be talking, so we'll get out the edge here. Yeah. Right. So, taking our full party. Fine. We possibly need to rest to get the dexterity down. Apparently there were some bugs with stats or something recently. I don't know what they were, but hopefully we didn't run into any. I don't think we've ran into any. Anyway, I just want to have a look at character screen. So she's only down 1, so that's okay. We can cope. In fact, is she even down a bonus? She's not down a bonus either, because 13's not going to give her a larger bonus than 12, so that's absolutely fine. Let's show it. Oh, okay, so there's a couple of you can see the story so far for different characters. So it looks like it's going to be a 3-part story for each character. Ah, okay, so once you get their quest, you can start going down a little bit. That's cool. I don't know why I pressed that for the map. I kind of wanted to go to journal. So, we have 3 months to conquer the Stolen Lands. Riverbed Nightmare. We should go to the Shriek River and discover the source of the terrible dreams. That's possible. Prove your worth is just find mighty monsters. Well, you know, not a lot that we can really do there either. Moon radishes. Those are often attract kobolds, but they weren't with the kobolds previously, and the Temple of the Elk is over here. Yeah, so I'm going to leave the Temple of the Elk. I think we should go to the river. We actually have a straight path there, which is kind of worrying. Yeah, let's head there. Yeah. Oh, I guess we can't head there because we actually don't know about it. Yeah, because we haven't actually gone down this path. You know what? Let's fight. Yeah. Yeah, let's do a little fight here. Let's see what we get.
Can you make an epic pose? I need inspiration.
Yeah, I don't like that we always start at the front. We can probably sort that, but that's fine. Are we fighting skeletons? So attack roll is probably not going to do anything. Inflict light wounds also isn't going to do anything. I wonder if we heal them, whether that does anything. Oh, also, apparently with Harrim, if we press up here, we can do Cure Light Wounds. It's a spontaneous spell or something? Okay. And that means that we don't have to have it memorized. We can just replace another spell with heal. Okay. That's interesting. We do the same on these ones as well. We can do moderate. Oh, okay. Interesting. So I think curing them would probably hurt them, but it's only friendly creatures we can use it on anyway. Well, I think we want to move Harrim forward and then use his kill undead. We obviously want to move back. Jaethal, I don't think could hurt them really. We could use Acid Splash. That seems okay. Amiri might as well charge it. Valerie might as well charge it. And Lindsay, well, they're immune to cold, so we might as well get our Inspire Courage going. There we go. Oh, there's some behind us? There is one behind us. Jaethal, I found which one you're going for. Are you going to run back here? Oh, they're all around us. Okay, hold on a second. Jaethal, get on this one.
Unworthy.
Miri, I'm actually going to turn you round onto this one.
I'm not doing it wrong. The spell is
Yeah, just
flawed.
run back this way. Right, there we go.
Tear them apart.
Harrim can now move to the center and then can start using... That's Jaethal. Let's let
Wretched
Dawn.
things.
Okay, Harrim. Let's do this. Right. That's good. We killed one instantly with that. Jaethal can now come in. This one...
Despicable.
Yeah, we're not really doing any damage. Let's hit this with a magic missile. Ooh, nice. So he can do damage because he does bludgeoning, of course. Yeah. Okay, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're actually destroying them. Nice. As long as Harrim hits them, we're good. Oh,
Just
turn off
letting
your
me
bardic
try.
stuff. Oh, turn it off. It turned off automatically. That's fine. I actually used an extra one there. Okay. 9 experience isn't much, but yeah, we'll take it.
I'll go ahead.
Right. Head out. And... Oh, wait. Before we head out, sort out our party. So we want Miri to be like up there. Then we want to be here. Lindsay to be there. Yeah. And then those two to swap around. I haven't really set it out very well, but that works. Right. Head out. We don't need any of the stuff. We can just leave. I guess maybe the time limit for this section is to stop you just grabbing stuff, walking back to Oleg's, grabbing stuff, walking back to Oleg's, like continuously. It's to kind of stop you infinite grinding. Okay. Keep heading along here. Waterlogged Lowland. Ooh. Might head there in a bit. Right. And there's Nettles Crossing, which I don't want to enter because I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you for watching, and next time we will head in and find out what's been causing us nightmares at the river. See you then. Goodbye.